Hey top percenters, Rise Joey here with another episode of FutureSight. Today covering Deoxys EX from Plasma Freeze. Deoxys EX is a basic psychic type with 170 hit points, the ability Power Connect, which boosts the damage of plasma Pokemon that aren't called Deoxys EX to defending Pokemon by 10, one attack, Spiral Force, which for Psychic and Colorless deals 30 damage, plus 30 more damage for each energy attached to a defending Pokemon if one of the energy attached to Deoxys is a Plasma energy. Deoxys also has a weakness to Psychic and a retreat cost of 2. Now let's start with Deoxys' ability. Power Connect, as mentioned before, will boost damage from your Plasma Pokemon. So how do we take advantage of this? Well, first thing I feel I should cover is the fact that this ability can be stacked. 2 Deoxys will give plus 20 damage, and 3 Deoxys plus 30. So effectively, each Deoxys you play becomes a permanent plus power. Now this ability doesn't apply to Deoxys himself, meaning that if his ability is what you want, then you'll have to pair him with something else. So, what can we pair him with? Well, first let's stay with the sets that he was released in. And with that we have Thunderous X, another Plasma X, and one that can take advantage of Power Connect. Thunderous X has the attack Thunder Knuckle, which for 1 lightning energy can deliver 30 damage. It attaches an energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. This attack alone makes him a viable starter for Deoxys, as well as any deck that runs lightning energy. Thunder Knuckle paired with Power Connect can also make for a devastating turn 1. 1 lightning energy and a Deoxys, and that's 40 damage for a single attachment. Manage to get 3 Deoxys banished in your opening turn, and that's 60 damage. Now we're talking about potential donks. But with the idea of donking aside, between 40 and 60 damage turn 1 is an amazing start to any game. The ability to output a meaningful amount of damage right off the bat can help you establish an early lead and can easily leave your opponent playing a game of catch up. And all of this can make Thunderous X a powerful contender in the deck before we even look at the fact that he can also accelerate energy. Now the more observant of you may have noticed that I said that Thunderous picks up an energy from your discard pile and attaches it to the bench. Note I didn't say basic energy. Thunder Knuckle can pick up any energy, be it basic or special, meaning that you can afford to be a little less conservative with your choice of discard for cards like Ultra Ball or Computer Search. You can also very easily pitch a card like Double Colorless or a Plasma Energy, and have Thunderous attach it to your bench, making both discard choices and setting up just that much easier. With all of that said though, I feel I should mention Thunderous' second attack, Thunder Root. Now I feel the cost of this attack is slightly unwieldy, it being 2 lightning and a double colorless for 90, which normally spells a 2-shot on most X's unless Eviolite is involved, but it does come with its own upside. If Thunderous has a Plasma Energy attached to him, then he can discard an energy from a defending Pokemon and potentially set your opponent behind, especially if they're running a deck like Kling Clan Cobalion, which has no form of energy acceleration and really suffers if it starts to lose energy. Moving on from Thunderous, Thunder Knuckle and Spiral Force also brought us new evolutions, namely Glaceon and Umbreon. Glaceon lowers the retreat costs on Plasma Pokemon by 2, meaning that most Plasma Pokemon have free retreat while it's out, including Deoxys and itself. Umbreon on the other hand gives all of your Plasma Pokemon plus 20 hit points, giving Deoxys 190 hit points, and from what I can tell, this ability, much like Power Connect, can be stacked, meaning 2 Umbreons will give a boost of 40 hit points, and 3 a boost of 60. Let's just contemplate that for a minute. Plasma X's with 230 or more hit points? Wow. Now adding that to the fact that you can set up a Deoxys in 1 turn pretty easily, and we find that we have an effective tank when we can combine this with Max Potion, and if we can't Max Potion that turn, Glaceon tells us that we can free retreat into another Deoxys and attack with that instead. So already we can see that Deoxys can make use of the evolutions, but how do they stand up when asked to do more than provide support? Well, Umbreon can, for a Dark and Double Colorless, use Darkness Fang, which does 70 damage, and that's about it. On the other hand, we have Glaceon's Icy Wind, which for a Water and Double Colorless delivers 60 damage and puts the defending Pokemon to sleep. Now, the energy cost and damage output leave a little to be desired, but guaranteed sleep is worth it, as you can use it to buy yourself time if you need it, and if you don't need time, then you're still hindering your opponent, which is never not a good thing. Overall though, the evolutions will mostly be present for their supporting roles, offering pluses to Deoxys and maybe still allowing the use of Thunderous, but only time will really tell. Moving away from Spiral Force and Thunder Knuckle, what else can make use of Deoxys? The first thing I can think of is Tornadus X. The original one, not the Therian form. With both Deoxys and Tornadus, you have multiple methods of hitting for major damage turn 1, using either Deoxys' Spiral Force or Tornadus' Blow Throw, both offering the potential of 90 damage turn 1, depending on whether you go second or if you can get the Verbank Hypnotoxic combination. For Deoxys, you'd need a Psychic Energy, a Colress Machine, Verbank City Gym, and Hypnotoxic Laser. If you went second and your opponent's defending Pokemon has an energy attached, you'll be able to swing for 90. Even without an energy attached, the previous combination is still an achievable 60 damage turn 1. For Tornadus, it's even simpler. All you need is double Colress, Verbank, and Hypnotoxic. And there you have a quick, effective 90 damage, non-dependent on turn or your opponent's attachments. Now of course, these situations are examples of perfect opening turns, but to be honest, with the number of cards required to achieve them, it's bound to be a lot more achievable than Darkrai's turn 1 Night Smear, which requires a way to dump 2 energy into the discard pile, an energy for your active, 2 dark patches, and an energy switch. So when you compare Deoxys' 4 cards and Tornadus' 3 cards to Darkrai's 7 cards, you can see that both Deoxys and Tornadus are a lot more capable of a turn 1 90 than Darkrai, who is constantly being built as a speed deck for the turn 1 Night Spear. With the early damage covered, what other advantages does running Deoxys or Tornadus give us? Well, firstly there's stadiums. I've already mentioned Verbank City Gym and how it can be used alongside Hypnotoxic Laser, but along with Verbank we also have Skyro Bridge, allowing Tornadus to retreat for free and giving Deoxys a retreat cost of 1, which I'd personally rather pay compared to its usual cost of 2. Why it's 2 in the first place I don't know. I mean, it's not like Deoxys normal form is all slow or heavy, and speed form would have a free retreat, at least it should. We can also make use of Plasma Frigate. Even though it doesn't benefit Tornadus primarily, there's nothing stopping you placing a Plasma Energy onto Tornadus and giving it no weakness. And with Frigate and Colress Machine, Deoxys can be given no weakness straight from the deck, as well as helping him set up for a 1-turn Spiral Force. I could mention Frozen City, but only Deoxys wouldn't be hit by the backlash from playing it, even if it does hinder decks like Keldeo Blastoise. Let's change the pace from what can we use with Deoxys to why use Deoxys at all? As I've said before, you can set up a Deoxys in 1 turn with just a Psychic Energy and a Colress Machine. Another plus is the fact that he gives you a 1-turn setup that one-shots Mewtwo and applies pressure to Keldeo X. With Deoxys delivering 30 damage plus 30 more for each energy attached to the defending Pokemon, Keldeo will be one-shot if we attach 5 energy to it. If you get the Verbank Hypnotoxic combination, then you only need them to have 4 energy attached. In short, a Keldeo player can no longer afford to invest beyond the bare minimum onto the active Keldeo, or they'll be losing it in 1 turn, meaning Keldeo's big advantage of being able to invest a huge amount of energy to start one-shotting your X's now has to be abandoned, and they have to settle for a 2-shot on everything. So to put everything in brief, Keldeo's major advantage over other decks in the format is now completely removed against Deoxys. So, Deoxys gives additional power to low-cost attackers, allowing for early damage output and even energy acceleration with cards like Thundurus. You can be paired with cards like the Evolutions to increase his longevity and make him more mobile, or we can pair him with speed attackers like Landorus or Tornadus. I know for a fact that this is going to be a chase card, and if you can get them cheap, definitely go for it. But enough of what I think. What do you guys think of Deoxys? And how will you guys run him if you do? I look forward to seeing what you guys have to say, and until next time, I'm Rasa Joey, you guys are the top percent. Peace out.